in a world where the heartbeat of nature synchronizes with the rhythm of our hearts. Last year, during our Invest in Earth Day initiative, Impact Ecosystem united nonprofit leaders, impact-driven entrepreneurs, and individuals committed to investing in our shared home, planet Earth. Connections were forged and aspirations were shared. This year, we're back with Invest in Earth Day 2.0, happening on April 16th and 17th, 2024, leading up to Earth Day on April 22nd. But this time, we're not merely dreaming of a better world, we're actively constructing it. Join us for a collaborative brainstorming and networking workshop on the transformative power of donor money. It's a collaborative opportunity where regenerative, philanthropic, and positive impact organizations converge to innovate and inspire. At Invest in Earth Day 2024, we're showcasing how money can transcend transactional value, becoming a force for meaningful change. Each participating individual will receive a philanthropic gift card worth $250, and participating organizations will receive a minimum grant of at least $1,000 of donor money, symbolizing our commitment to empower individuals, communities, and ecosystems. With every exchange of donor money, we're co-authoring a new narrative in the guardianship of our shared home. By embracing money with purpose, we're forging pathways to a future where humanity and the planet thrive in harmony. In this journey, every contribution, no matter its size, holds significance. It's about collectively nurturing our Earth and uplifting each other. Join us in embracing money with meaning. Be part of Invest in Earth Day 2024, where we co-create a future where our planet flourishes and our spirits soar.
Impact Ecosystem is more than just a sponsor. They're driving force behind Invest in Earth Day and donor money. They connect passionate individuals like yourselves with impactful causes, empowering businesses to embrace sustainable practices, and most importantly, they foster collaboration through events like this one. So as you saw, Impact Ecosystem truly believes that positive change is possible when we work together, share resources, and leverage our collective impact. So speaking of collaboration, I'm honored to introduce visionary leader behind Impact Ecosystem, Matt Elston. Matt, can you take it over from here?
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to first question that we have on board. Just want to get an idea of where people are from. Are they in the nonprofit world? Are they in the for-profit positive impact world? Are they in both? Neither. Just decided to check the event out and maybe jump into either the nonprofit or the impact world. In the event that we had 12 hours ago, we had a pretty equal split. We'll see what it is here. It looks like as the answers are rolling in, a good number of you are both in the nonprofit space and for-profit impact space. Some of you are in nonprofits only, and some are for-profits. So pretty good split, similar to the first meeting that we had. It's good to bring together people from different worlds. I think sometimes we get too siloed and don't look at enough of a systemic approach, a holistic approach on things, and collaborating with people in different organizations, I think, helps with that. At Impact Ecosystem, we're trying to champion fair, regenerative, and resilient local and global communities that prioritize. The first question is asking about the value of United Airlines Mileage Plus program. The second question is asking how many Bitcoin exchange-traded ETFs, that's exchange-traded funds, is the SEC, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, have they approved this year? The third question is, what is the total cryptocurrency market capitalization currently? And this does fluctuate, but I pulled these figures the other day. Then you got three more questions behind that. The fourth question is, most major U.S. nonprofits accept cryptocurrencies donations. True or false? How much cryptocurrency has been donated to nonprofits? So we talked about the total market capitalization, or we asked about that. How much do you actually think has been donated to nonprofits? This goes back to about 2018. Prior to that, there weren't a lot of cryptocurrency donations to nonprofits. But there's been more as we've had bull markets and people have had windfalls, personal windfalls by being involved early adopters of cryptocurrency. And the final question is kind of a fun one. How much would $1,000 gift of Bitcoin in May of 2010 be worth today if the recipient had held on to the gift? This is supposed to be an interactive session, so we're happy to have people, we don't want too many interruptions, but if you can speak up in a timely manner, that's great to get different people involved, different perspectives. First question, correct answer is 20 billion. So almost 40% of you got that correct. They were actually able. All right. Second question. The correct answer is 11. There was 11 exchange traded funds approved this year by the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission. Billions of dollars have flowed into those funds since the start of the year, since they received their approval. It's part of the reason that Bitcoin's price has gone up. Total cryptocurrency market cap, 2.4 trillion. About over half of you guys got that right. Few were on the high end, few were on the low end. Major U.S. nonprofits accept cryptocurrency donations. According to Giving Block and a Philanthropy Digest article I read, that is true as of this year. 56% of large nonprofits are accepting some form of cryptocurrency or another. And one of the reasons for that is because $2 billion of cryptocurrency has been donated to nonprofits since 2018. An interesting takeaway here is you have a market cap of over 2 trillion, but 2 billion's been donated. 2 billion's a lot of money going to nonprofits. But imagine if there was a cryptocurrency, a major cryptocurrency that competed with Bitcoin, that instead of just a fraction of a percent being donated of the value that was created, that's something we're going to be exploring today. And hopefully you guys see the value proposition of that. And that's something that donor money is trying to do, and we'll get into that later. So how much would $1,000 gift of Bitcoin in May of 2010 be worth today if the recipient hadn't sold it? So $1,000 of Bitcoin is worth over $15 billion today. Not many of you guys got that correct. So there's, being an early adopter of Bitcoin was very lucrative. All right. So what's Impact Ecosystem doing? What are we doing to make money have meaning? What are we doing to achieve our mission? There's a bunch of things that are up here. Nonprofit support is what donor money is all about. It's a philanthropic gift card currency. So people buy it from nonprofits. So the nonprofit makes money when they sell it to them. We give it for free to the nonprofits. In essence, it is mined by the nonprofits and impact ventures doing good work that benefits society, providing what we call positive externalities. And so the donor money goes to the nonprofits and the impact organizations. Then they sell it to their supporters or anyone who wishes to purchase it. And then the purchasers donate it to another organization. And that makes the process more circular as opposed to linear gift giving of a fixed pie. We're actually putting a currency in circulation and we are increasing the size of the pie. So what are the themes today? Money. Most people use it. That's why money is such a powerful tool. Our cultural immune system. What sort of prevents us from making positive change? Why are we burning a bunch of energy with Bitcoin, say, versus having a philanthropic currency that's mined by doing good? Why are we encouraging burning of energy as opposed to philanthropic and impact endeavors? Innovation, nonprofits versus for-profits. Who tends to be more innovative? Is it the nonprofit world or the for-profit world? And why maybe are nonprofits more innovative? Collaboration versus competition. What would benefit nonprofits more? One of our themes is that it's collaboration, growing the philanthropic and impact pie through philanthropic currency, such as donor money, and using network power to get behind one currency, like the Bitcoin community has gotten behind theirs. Currencies can influence behaviors, unite people, and redistribute purchasing power. And the overarching theme really is money as a tool for good. All right. So today's format, we're going to introduce some topics. We have a couple breakout sessions after some of those topics, and others will roll right into a little discussion or the whiteboard. And then we'll have discussions and collaborative whiteboards. Excuse me. All right. So what are our topics? Impediments to positive change, loyalty currency success stories, mileage plus program. Bitcoin is an alternative currency that I would say is a success story overall. And ideal positive impact currency. What would that look like? What would it do? What behaviors would we be able to influence? Impediments to positive change. What holds individuals and organizations back from making positive change? So that's our first topic. I sort of added this one just yesterday when I read this post. Number one risk, this was on LinkedIn by Sunil Unka. Number one risk factor for improvement is our cultural immune system rejects change, basically, right? We have cultural norms that people aren't willing to give up easily. We have, so cultural immune system ends up being a big barrier to change. If you don't really understand the culture, it's going to be really hard to change it. And you also need to understand the emotional landscape you're walking into. So I replied to his comment. I thought of President Bush at the 1992 COP in Rio de Janeiro. He said the American lifestyle is non-negotiable. What he meant by that is open for interpretation. But Timothy Den Herder Thomas thought it was our consumption and our exploitation of resources in an unjust and unsustainable way. And Nate Hagans often refers to this as the unstoppable superorganism. If you're not Hagans, I would check out the Great Simplification podcast. He has a lot of stuff. As Brian von Herzen said in our earlier session, he was a participant last year and participated in an earlier session, and he's got kelp coin through the Ocean Conservancy out of Australia. He was basically saying we either voluntarily will change or nature will force change upon us. And Nate Hagans basically says the same thing. And I think it's a very enlightened view. So we have a choice. Do we voluntarily change and make a better future, or do we let change just happen to us and hopefully it won't be too bad? All right. So session one, how can we improve ourselves and our organizations? So we're going to put you into breakout rooms, give you a chance to meet each other, right? And I'm going to I think we'll do 5 breakout rooms. Hopefully we won't have too many that are just filled with AI note takers, and we'll have a good number that have real live participants. Hopefully you guys will come off, we'll share your screens and share your audios with each other. And we'll get going with the rooms right now. And it's 24 minutes after the hour. So we're doing a few less breakout sessions this time. We'll give you 10 minutes. So about 34 after the hour, we will close these rooms. So go ahead and join and have at it. All right. Is everyone back now from the breakout rooms? I hope you guys got a chance to meet each other. I know. So our earlier session, Potential to base impact currency on natural capital. No need to create proof of concept. Currencies provide a medium of exchange, unit of account, store of value, which these should impact. Which of these should an impact currency have? Fair launch and consensus that rewards the right people at the right places in the economy. Economic empowerment, retaining wealth, building social capital, localized control, and encouraging sustainable practices. And parts of it I'm not quite able to see. But if people can put up some of the takeaways in their group, and anyone's also welcome to jump off mute and share if they have something that they think was particularly insightful in the group. Comfort prevents change from Enoch. Rigid identity, people think it's a personal attack to change. Conscious choices, lasting impact. Change is quantitized and unpredictable. All right, I'm going to keep moving on here. It didn't seem like this was quite as productive as the earlier session in terms of figuring out how we can incentivize change. All right, so people see currencies as encouraging people to buy more, spend more. Some people think they're donating more or traveling more. All right. Does anyone have any experience with philanthropic gift cards that they want to share? Does your nonprofit accept donations of loyalty program currencies? Does your nonprofit have a loyalty currency or nonprofit or impact business? Does it have a loyalty or gift card program? So those are some topics to explore here. Loyalty program stats. Over 83% of consumers say that belonging to a loyalty program influences their decision to buy again from a brand. 75% of consumers in loyalty programs will buy more products from the companies they partner with. 84% of consumers say they're more likely to stick with a brand that offers a loyalty program. 66% of consumers say the ability to earn rewards changes their spending behavior. And similar numbers of customers in loyalty programs with brands feel the brands better understand their buying preferences. So are nonprofits and impact businesses utilizing this tremendous tool? That's a question for you guys. If not, why not? All right. So United Airlines got a $5 billion loan on their loyalty program that was valued at $20 billion when COVID hit in 2020 and their revenues stopped. How were they able to do that? Well, they offer a lot of different things. Obviously, you can redeem for miles, and you redeem your miles for air travel, but you can do it for hotel awards, car awards, cruise awards. You can also do it for merchandise awards, shopping, Apple products, gift cards, exclusive perks, Broadway shows. Miles can be bought, transferred, or donated. So lots of different options with that. All right. How is United Airlines able to build a $20 billion loyalty program? So this is going to be just a short breakout room we're going to put people in. And there's some other questions here. So let's hopefully we'll cover the topic in the breakout room. We're going to recreate, so you're going to be in new breakout rooms with new people. And I'm going to drop it to 4 rooms, all right? Let's try to talk about the topic and have some answers when we come back. Thank you, guys. This is single choice, so what you think contributed the most to the success? Is it businesses paying for flights and reimbursing credit cards and employees earning miles that they can use personally? Is it credit cards awarding points? The tie-in with the credit card programs where, in essence, United Airlines sells their miles to the credit card companies who then distribute them as a reward to their credit card users. Is it the range of of mile redemption options? Or is it the value proposition of earning and using miles versus dollars? Sometimes, particularly with business fares and first class fares, the ticket price in cash is much more expensive on a relative basis compared to the mileage price. So the airline can kind of price differentiate and give lower price tickets via miles to their more loyal customers. All right, so United mileage plus behaviors. What behaviors does the United mileage plus loyalty currency program motivate people to do? And if everyone can just run in real quick on this so we don't get too behind time here. All right, I'm going to give it maybe another 5. A few answers still coming in. When we send out slides and everything, we'll try to collate the results from all 2 or 3 polls in the case of the last question. All right, so I'm going to end this. So fly United Airlines, yes. On to Bitcoin. Unless anyone wants to add something about United Airlines. All right. How did Bitcoin go from, this is our topic, next topic. How did Bitcoin go from 14 wallet addresses and a market cap of 0 at the beginning of 2009 to over 1 trillion today? Does your nonprofit accept donations of appreciated stocks and or cryptocurrency? If offered, would your nonprofit have accepted a $1,000 Bitcoin donation in 2010 or 2016? All right, so we see the market capitalization of Bitcoin, right? This is an old chart. It kind of went down for a while after that. Then it's now back up near new highs. So a lot of wealth was created with Bitcoin. Most of Bitcoin was created before this chart even existed. Most of it was mined in 2009 and 2010. About 3/4 of all the Bitcoin were mined the first 2 years. Bitcoin success. We had a lot of people actually on the last session jump in with Bitcoin and they wanted to come off of mute and share their thoughts. So we had some fairly passionate people there. I didn't actually invite, I saw Tiff, you were asking about people in one of the earlier rooms, what their crypto knowledge was, had they used crypto. I didn't really invite a lot of people from the Web3 community for this, to be honest. I do have a number of contacts in that community, but most of the people I invited were in the impact space and the philanthropic community. So some of the answers are coming in now. So what are your thoughts on this? Why do you think Bitcoin has been successful? And this is an opinion, but I have my opinion. And so far, my answer is in last place. One person has selected my answer. So that's interesting. We're up to 2 people have selected what I think is the biggest, most contributing factor to Bitcoin success, and then being able to grow their number of users. All right, so I'm going to end this poll. If you have an answer, get it in now. So looking at Bitcoin success, 2 people said the community of supporters. I believe that's the biggest reason that Bitcoin was successful. Yes, the increase in price is what got it into the news and got a lot of follow-on users. But without a community advocating for Bitcoin, especially in the early days, Bitcoin would not have been successful. So I firmly believe that it's a community of supporters that was the initial reason for the success. Yes, the decentralized ledger appealed to people. Yes, more recently, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission giving ETF approval have gotten more follow-on people, and that's helped the price, which is also, gotten people excited by it, when they see the price. Early days, transacting without a third party was an appeal. Transparency was an appeal to people. So those were appeals, but without the community of supporters, no one would have been aware of those, that there was transparency or you didn't have to transact with a third party. or that it was a decentralized ledger. So I firmly believe it was a community of supporters. And I think that's their secret ingredient to their success. And I think it's one of the reasons that other cryptos have had trouble challenging Bitcoin. With that being said, there's still about 100 cryptocurrencies with a market capitalization of $1 billion. So even if you're not as successful as Bitcoin, you can be pretty successful. Let's keep it moving here. And the next one is question 6. What has hindered Bitcoin from becoming more widely adopted? And Abhishek will get that poll up. This is just the preview. Is it the difficulty of use, environmental concerns, price volatility, slow transaction speed, or something else? What's everyone thinking here? And you can pick more than one choice in this poll. So if you think all of those factors were an issue, or 2 of them were an issue, you can pick both of them. Hopefully you didn't submit already. All right, we'll give this about another 10 seconds, and then I'll share the results. Fairly split between difficulty of use and price volatility. Some other people said something else. Does anyone that said something else want to share what they think it is?
I think it's the transaction costs. It's kind of expensive, I think, Bitcoin.
Yeah. So I mean, I think they've been trying to work around that with layer 2 solutions, and that also can overcome the transaction speed. But it's still not as seamless a process. I actually think, I didn't put this on here, I think their whole idea of hodling has hurt it as a transactional currency. So they said it was going to be a peer-to-peer exchange. What really made it take off is when you didn't have to do peer-to-peer, and third parties got involved with it, and that led to easier, more widespread adoption, particularly like with something like ETFs. But the fact that people are supposed to hold on to it and not transact in it, there were some businesses that started accepting Bitcoin initially, right? And no one was buying anything in Bitcoin. They'd rather buy in dollars because the dollars were losing purchasing power through inflation, right? The Federal Reserve targets 2 to 3% inflation a year, right? So that means they want your dollars to lose 2 to 3% of purchasing power per year. Well, Bitcoin, with the limited supply, was more designed to hold value and even go up in prices as more users adopted it. So why give up your Bitcoin and have to pay taxes on the gains? Why not get rid of your dollars that are losing value? So I actually think the whole HODL mentality and the fact that it's been an appreciating asset, people don't want to use it. So that's hurt it from being more widely adopted as a transactional currency. Anyone else have any other? There were 5 something else. So did anyone else? Anne?
Yeah, I do. I personally, I have a business background. My opinion is that cryptocurrency is a scam. And the reason why is because it's speculative in nature, and it's not based on all other currencies are based on the goods and services that are being provided by a country, and there's really nothing underneath Bitcoin. It's just speculation and what other people are willing to buy for it. There's nothing underneath it. So I really am skeptical of Bitcoin as a long-term currency. If it gets to be more and more powerful, it will be taken over by the governmental currencies. So it's just it's an interesting concept, and I've read a lot about how and why it was started, but I don't think it's based on anything other than the willingness of people to trade air.
No, I understand what you're saying. I mean, but the fact of the matter is the US dollar went off the gold standard in the 1970s. So the dollar has actually been declining in value, and they print more of it. At least with Bitcoin, there's the limited supply. And by the way, I don't own Bitcoin. I'm not an advocate of Bitcoin because of the environmental concerns. I think their security system is designed as the price goes higher to use more energy. So I own some Ethereum, I own Celo, I own BitGreen, not Tiff's latest version of BitGreen, but the old version of BitGreen. I still have some of those, I think, in a wallet. I don't know if it's functioning. Yeah, so I understand what you're saying. I think we do need to look at reality, though. I mean, currencies have had a tendency to go to zero. Bitcoin could go to zero. I personally think it'll actually go to 100,000 before it goes to zero. That's just my personal view. Because of the limited supply, it's designed not to go down in value like the dollar, right? Why do you want a currency that's designed to go down in value? And I think it's going to be hard for it to go to zero right now with the SEC approving it and the ETFs being involved. So I don't see it going to zero in the short term. Longer term, you might be right, Ann. It wouldn't shock me. Longer term, if we don't figure out how to take care of Mother Nature, everything may go to zero. Yeah. So anyways, does anyone else have any thoughts on that? Just to be clear, donor money is not a cryptocurrency. We're designing it to reward good. We are copying certain elements of Bitcoin, like the limited supply. So we only have 20 million donor coins available to distribute. Lisa, I see you got your hand up there. And I hope your brother's doing okay.
Thank you. Just briefly, I feel like I still know a lot of people that just kind of can't be bothered. They're like, I don't understand what it is, and I really can't be bothered to learn about it. So
sure. And I think that was one reason I started with that whole cultural immunity, right? It's interesting how I think that people have sort of Abhishek, can you cue up the next poll? I think we can talk over the poll, right? So cue up number 7, please. People, get into their own box. They've learned what they've learned. They don't want to learn a better way of doing things. They're sort of happy. One of the things that came out in the first session was one of the impediments to change was comfort. People are comfortable, right? So if you have a decent house, if you have a decent job, why should anything change? Let's just keep going as we're going, right? Everything's fine. I'm of the one that we've had a lot of change already, and some of that has been in a very positive direction for humanity, right? We're more tolerant overall. I mean, sure, we still have racism and biases, but we don't have as much slavery. Although I've heard some statistics that there's more slaves now if you count white slavery and other forms of sex slavery and things like that. But percentage wise, it's not as common. I think we've created some international supply chains that require amazing amounts of cooperation. Now, they also require amazing amounts of fossil fuel that we don't count for the environmental impacts of that. But we've shown humans can cooperate. So we've had change. So I think it's about redirecting that change that's going to happen, because we're going to have change anyway. So let's have it go in as positive a behavior as possible. So you raise a huge point. How do we get people to embrace change, learn better ways of doing things? In essence, donor money doubles philanthropy, even if donor coin doesn't go up in price. How does it double philanthropy? Well, we give it for free to the nonprofit. The nonprofit sells it to their supporters or anyone who wants to purchase it. And then the purchaser then can donate it back to another nonprofit or organization, right? So it becomes circular, and getting the money in circulation, like governments can dictate that money circulates, right? They force you to pay taxes with it. They make it legal tender, right? Well, if a community can get a currency circulating, and that currency actually has a limited supply instead of the government printing a bunch of the currency, then that currency can grow in value, and we can reward more and more of it. And there are some tax efficiencies. I'm not going to get into that today. Anyways, so should we be, encouraging people to make philanthropic distributions, or should we encourage them to buy mining equipment and use electricity? I say the impact donations. So I'm going to end this poll and move.
So I think it was Anne who answered. Anne made a question, but Lisa, I think, was the person before this. I agree with you. It's basically a bunch of confusion. It's really a complicated subject matter. And Anne, I want to recommend to you and to everybody that you read a book called Read, Write, Own, which talks about the future of the internet. And the future of the internet is really about ownership of new ecosystems, technology-driven ecosystems, which I think is what is being proposed here today. And this is a really exciting aspect. And I think the whole ICO boom, which basically stands for initial coin offering, was used by a lot of people that wanted to scam a lot of users, and a lot of people lost a lot of money. And tokens, these cryptocurrency or these tokens, they usually fall under three categories. It's either a payment token, a utility token, or a security. And the differences between the three are really big and very important. And a lot of companies are selling tokens as securities, which then is being used to scam people. So it's very new. This technology is very early, and Bitcoin is a very specific case that is not really normal in the realm of these different tokens. Because it's really a store of value. It's not really a currency, and it's not supposed to be used to buy anything. So it's just an alternative to the gold, and it's very liquid, so you can get in and out of it very quickly, very easily, and it's got a fixed supply. So that's really the only use case for Bitcoin. And I think, when we talk about the future, people might substitute away from Bitcoin because there's going to be a better environmental product that does the same thing. So Bitcoin is valuable and very interesting for today, but the day there's a better product that has virtually no environmental impact, I see that being the real risk to Bitcoin. So anyways, just wanted to put that up.
Hey, so Ian, I agree with a lot of that, actually. And I sort of look at Bitcoin as the Model T of alternative currencies. It's the first widely adopted one, but I don't see a lot of Model Ts on the road today. So I agree that it can improve. And as either Bitcoin's going to improve itself, which they don't want to, it seems like, because they believe they have first mover advantage. So they don't want to improve. So, but a currency like Ethereum has embraced improvement. They've done different rollouts, went from proof of work to proof of stake. So I kind of agree with you that that could be the longer term trend here. One thing a question for you. Do you think Bitcoin initially, when it was rolled out in 2009, was meant to be a store of value, or did they want it to be a peer-to-peer transactional currency? And if they wanted it to be a peer-to-peer transactional currency, what was it to be used for, if not like purchasing things and exchanging goods and services?
Yeah, it was rolled out with the idea. I mean, the Bitcoin white paper mentions the idea of a transactional payment currency, right? But it's limited in its own in its own application because of its cost, because of its latency. All these factors don't make it really a good currency. And Bitcoin is very good at one thing, which is to be a reserve currency. And to be a reserve currency and a regular currency puts it at risk of not being good at either. And so there are already other solutions, including the stable coins, the CBDCs, which are the central bank digital currencies, that are going to fulfill that role. So, there are ecosystem tokens, the tokens that you use within an ecosystem that drives value. Just like Anne was bringing up, you got to produce value. You got to create something. You got to create something of value to the participants of a network. That has its own utility token. You've got the payment tokens, which are really the CBDCs and the stable coins, and then you got the store of value in the case of Bitcoin. So it started out as one thing with a little bit of an idea that it could be more, but now I think there are some, like the lightning, I think it's called. There are other solutions which are trying to be introduced to make it a currency. I think that would be a really big mistake if they try to do that.
Yeah, interesting. So,
comment. So Matt, in the title of the original Bitcoin white paper, it was called Bitcoin, a P2P or peer-to-peer transactional currency.
Yep. No, I'm
So,
aware of that, Alex.
yeah,
Thank you.
in answer to your question, I think that it was originally conceived as a
Yeah.
P2P, but
I mean, at least that's how they marketed it. Ian, I'm going to try to push back maybe on or maybe expand upon one thing you said about security tokens, about scamming people. I think in some cases, the security tokens are actually a substitute for equity. Instead of issuing shares, they're issuing a token. I don't want to get too much into the weeds on this, and I want to keep it moving here. But if you have just a quick little point on that.
100% behind you. I think I misspoke on that. The whole idea, the whole case that Chris Dixon brings about on the future blockchain network is really to give ownership to the to a project, to the development of an ecosystem. And so it's risky because, not that it's risky, but there has to be real utility, real function in the use of the token that is different than just the aspect of it being a security like a traditional share. So the distinction between the two is complicated. And if you're following it in the US today, it's quite it's concerning in many ways because the SEC's current position is quite radical in my personal view. But many of the ICOs were secured.
Okay. Hey, Ian, thank you. I want to kind of keep it moving. So let's move on to this next impact currency benefits and design. What are the benefits of a community currency creating their own currency? What characteristics would your ideal philanthropic currency have? All right. So currencies can influence behavior, unite people, redistribute purchasing power. All right. We've touched on all of this. Uniting people. Look at the euro. Look at the Bitcoin community. Look at the Ethereum community. If anyone has any thoughts that they want to share, Abhishek, maybe pull up that whiteboard from before if you want. We're going to do this real kind of quick because I do have some slides I want to get into. If anyone wants to come off mute, feel free. Alex, you got your hand up. Did you want to say something? All right. I think money is an underutilized tool for good. I think donor money offers a solution for that. So our phase one combines the best elements of a philanthropic gift card with innovative ideas in local communities. So we're not just a philanthropic gift card like TizBast or Global Giving. We are a gift card currency. So we're actually creating a currency that can be used. And in essence, donors and supporters purchase it, and donors then donate it. They purchase, so it can't be resold. It's not going to be day traded. It's not for speculative nature, right? But as the number of users go up, we will be raising the price of it. Similar to how the airlines can control the price of miles that they sell, we will control the price of donor money. So we'll be granting it to nonprofits. You can demo it using this QR code. It's demo.donor.money, or you can just go to the donor.money website. It's also available. There's a link from the Impact Ecosystem website. That's ie.money. So we got some closing questions for people. Tell us which themes they'd like to explore more. Money is a powerful tool because most people use it. How can we overcome our cultural immune system to incorporate positive change? How can nonprofits be as innovative as for-profits? How can donor money increase collaboration to grow the philanthropic pie? Instead of competing for grants, we're collaborating to create a currency of value. How can we optimize donor money to positively influence behavior? Second question, which of the following do you agree with regarding Invested Earth Day 2024? It was a good use of your time. Again, you can, on these questions, you can answer you can pick multiple choices. You don't have to limit to just one choice. If you agree with or would like to pick 2 or 3 or 4, you can. So I'm going to go on. I'm going to leave the poll up. Let me see if I can get to the next slide with our next steps here. So you can view a demo of donor money. You can inquire about joining our board of advisors. Each board of advisor member gets paid $4,000 a month in donor coin that they can hold for a period of time and then donate to their organization of choice or impact or nonprofit. And we also have another event coming up. We want this to be a collaborative event with organizations inviting their supporters. You'll get donor money grants for each participant you invite, and you can schedule meetings with us, and we'll give you the details of the event and maybe what it'll cover. It's International Family Day, which I think families are at the heart of a lot of what we do. And issues are all connected, and a lot of them affect families, whether it's poverty, social injustice, climate injustice, biodiversity loss, pollution, plastic pollution. I didn't mention plastics, but Invest in Earth Day theme is planet versus plastics. And that's the theme. Earth Day is May 22nd officially. So our event's a little leading up to that, ahead of it. And we will be launching live the currency with everyone who participated. They will be getting some currency as we described earlier in the invites. So we'll put you first into the demo system, the demo.donor.money. And then we'll put you into the live system, and that hopefully will be up and running. April 22nd will be our launch date on that. So I'm going to share these results, and I appreciate everyone for attending. I hope everyone got something out of it and is looking forward to the next steps.
Thank you everybody for making to this event and making it successful. And we look forward to meeting you in our upcoming events. And we encourage all of you to go to the demo.donor.money site and create your accounts. And your feedbacks on the platform would be pretty useful and help us make our platform better. And thank you very much once again for making it today for the event.